Alrighty, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and today I'm going to be going over my Christmas and Boxing Day 2016 pickups. This was a crazy holiday. I took 2 weeks off vacation for the holidays, which I haven't done in a really long time. Like, I always take 1 week off vacation, but 2 weeks hasn't happened in probably like a decade. And there were so many family suppers, get-togethers, there was always some kind of event, like we were always going to something or doing something. So it was really busy, go all the time. Had a blast, but now, strangely, now that I'm back to work, I actually have a little bit more time to focus on other things. So I wanted to do this pickup video. And pretty much everything here is kind of video game related. I will start with the video games themselves first, then the Blu-rays, and then other things that are still kind of video game related, but not video games themselves. So let's start this off with a bang, with Bravely Second. My girlfriend picked this up for me for Christmas. I loved Bravely Default. That was one of my favorite games. That is one of my favorite games on the 3DS. I think the only one guaranteed beating it is Fire Emblem Awakening. I loved, the love letter basically to old school RPGs. I loved the gameplay and combat. It was fantastic. I liked the characters, the story, the music. The only thing I didn't like was how later on in the game you had ended up doing a lot of repetitive stuff. So if this game has everything but the repetitiveness, this would be the definitive edition of Bravely Default. Cannot wait to play this. I'm still working on one of the Fire Emblem Fates. As soon as I'm done that, I'm probably going to jump onto this. Really looking forward to it. I ended up getting for my mother Overwatch on Xbox One. It is only multiplayer, and I might actually make a video about this because as the older I get, I'm okay with this. I used to, when I was younger, I was always like, every game has to have a single-player campaign. Definitely, multiplayer can be second, or multiplayer can be the main thing, but I want there to be a single-player campaign. As I get older, I'm kind of giving that up. I'm kind of okay with the idea. So I might do a separate video for that at some point. We'll see. Next up, I ended up getting Gears of War 4. The single-player campaign in this is freaking awesome. I probably will try the multiplayer mode before that, though, because I still need to beat Gears of 3, and I want to beat that before I move on to Gears of War 4. So I'm a little bit behind. But I really do want to get into this because I loved the Gears single-player campaigns, and I loved also the multiplayer as well. So I probably will try out the Horde at some point. Next up, I ended up getting with a gift card. Walmart was having this off. Okay, so new games here in Canada are $80 instead of $60 in the US. And this was on sale for $50, so $30 off. Final Fantasy 15, which I've been really looking forward to. And this game came out like, what, a month ago? It wasn't even a month, I think, by the time that this was on sale on Boxing Day. So I was really happy to pick that up with a gift card too. And I cannot wait for this. This is apparently like a 20-25 hour RPG, maybe 30 hours max. I heard it's relatively short for RPGs, but I'm fine with that. Once again, the older I get, the more okay I am with shorter RPGs, shorter games. I mean, I don't want like a 5-hour RPG. I do want still like, 20 hours is a sweet spot, I find. 20 to 25, that's a good amount, I find, for some RPGs. Then other times, something like, Elder Scrolls 5, yeah, you can give me like, the main campaign can be relatively short, like 30 hours or something like that, but then give me like another 200 hours for side quests, and I'm perfectly happy with that. I like the idea that, that if you just want to focus on the game itself and the storyline, you can beat it in a relatively short amount of time, and then if you want to do side quests that are still relevant to it, then I'm okay with it being open-ended, which you can play tons of hours, so I cannot wait to play this. I don't know if I'm going to play this one or Bravely Second next, but I'm so tempted. Maybe I will go with Final Fantasy 15 just because it is shorter, and I think Bravely Second is still relatively longer. So that's all the video games that I got. I ended up getting a few Blu-rays from my girlfriend's mother. She got me Star Trek Beyond, the Steelbook, because my girlfriend told her that I generally like Steelbooks more. I still haven't watched this because I watched the new Star Trek reboot with my girlfriend, like introduced her to this new Star Trek. We still have to watch Into Darkness, which I prefer. I think I preferred it over the original reboot. And then once we watch Into Darkness, then we'll move on to this one. So I'm holding out, waiting for her to catch up so we can watch it. Really happy with this cover art though. For a Steelbook, like that's so, I don't know, so 80s or something. It's really nice. My girlfriend also ended up getting me XMen Apocalypse, which I still haven't seen. And it's too bad that like so many people have said that it's like, you know, not the greatest. It's kind of a letdown, considering how awesome Days of Future Past was, in my opinion. And then like everyone seemed to kind of agree that it was awesome. And then they made this one. It was kind of a letdown. I still want to check it out. I mean, I cannot see this being worse than Wolverine Origins or even X-Men Last Stand. If it is, that really sucks. So I'm hoping that it's at least kind of just decent. Talking about something that's way better than decent, though, my girlfriend also picked me up Deadpool, which is freaking awesome. I really want to check this one out again. This was probably one of my top 3 movies of the year, 2016. On my movie channel, I'm actually going to be making a top 10 video of my favorite movies of 2016. 2016, though, sucked. It is like one of the worst years for movies, in my opinion. Like, Deadpool was awesome, but like other than that, there's just a few movies that were really worth watching, which is really too bad. It's mainly Marvel movies, or Marvel characters anyway. Deadpool is owned by Fox, but yeah. A horrible year. So I'm trying to like watch a few other things that I've missed that I think might be good, but slim pickings for 2016. Next up, okay, so that's all the Blu-rays that I got. So I ended up going to a place in the mall where they sell like kind of like board games and things like that. And I ended up getting Zombie Dice, which is a really simple game where you just have dice that you roll in here. You throw it out, and or you grab 3 and you roll. And you have options where I'll just grab. There's like 3 dice. Get the other one. So there's 3 kinds of dice. There's red, which basically has a lot more shotguns on them. You don't want that because that will kill you. If you have 3 shotguns, you're dead. Yellow, which has a mix of brains walking around and shotgun blast. And then green, which has a lot of zombie or brains, which is what you want. You want 13 brains to win. 3 shotguns will kill you. And then the walking around basically just means you can hold your turn or let somebody else go. Or like go again but use that dice again. Or you say no, let the other person go. It's really hard to get 13 brains. Basically, we're playing and we're kind of like just rolling once and passing it on to the other person so that hopefully they die from the shotgun blasts. That's kind of how the game's played. So we're thinking of actually making it like maybe 5 or 6 shotgun blasts to kill you, just because then everybody's like just like rolling once and then keep like letting the other person go, where we're not really trying to get 13 brains, which I think would be funner to see people just get greedy and, you know, just keep going. You're like, I'm so close to 13 brains, I just want to get it, and then they end up dying that way. Or actually getting the 13 brains. So that's Zombie Dice. My mother ended up getting me a few books from the Dris Jordan series. So back in college, during high school, I read like the Harry Potter series, Lord of the Rings, Wheel of Time. So I really started getting into the fantasy novels. And then I was introduced to the Dris Jordan series by R.A. Salvatore, and I fell in love with the character and the story and the setting. So my mother ended up getting a few hardcovers. I back then, you know, like by 2004, I had read up to the Hunter's Blade trilogy. Like I finished the Hunter's Blade trilogy, or I didn't finish the last book because it wasn't out yet. So I read up to the Lone Drow, which I think is like book 14 or 15. I can't remember exactly. So I finished that, and then I just never went back to it. Like after the other books kept continuing to come out, I think they're at like 30 something. So I have another 15 books to read, but I'm rereading the entire series. So I'm at book 8 at the moment, and my mother ended up getting me the next book after the Hunter's Blade trilogy, which is the Orc King, which is part of the Transitions series. The sequel to that is the Pirate King. And then a few books after that, it is the Companions, which is it's a series, but it's only the first book is done by R.A. Salvatore. That includes Drizzt. The other 5 books are from different authors that are in the Forgotten Realms setting with their characters. And this is basically like explaining what happens with the Sundering, which is like a big event happening in the Forgotten Realms, and it kind of goes through that. So if you're into fantasy novels, though, like if you like Lord of the Rings type stuff, definitely check this out. Start with Homeland. R.A. Salvatore made the series with book 4, 5, and 6, kind of like Star Wars, and then went back and wrote 1, 2, and 3. And but like chronologically, start with the Homeland, which is the first book in the series, but he wrote it after he wrote 4, 5, and 6. But it follows so well that you should read it in chronological order. It's a lot better. And Homeland is one of the best books in the series too, so it's a great way to start off the series. It's about a dark elf called Just Jordan, who is dark elves are generally evil, and he's actually really good-hearted. So he leaves his world and tries to live on the surface instead of the Underdark. And he's just constantly there's a lot of like racial issues in this because nobody judges him by his character, or there are very few people that do. And they judge him by his skin, and as the series progresses, it just keeps kind of starting to shift a little bit. So it's really good. It's kind of like the X-Men in the sense that, there's a lot of like racial issues there also, but instead of like, color of skin, it's mutants and humans, whereas this, it's the actual color of their skin. Really fantastic. And Gwenwivar, also his Panther, is freaking awesome. There's a lot of cool characters in that series. Okay. And last but not least, kind of relating to Just Jordan. So Just Jordan is set in the Forgotten Realms setting, which is part of Dungeons & Dragons, actually. You don't have to understand Dungeons & Dragons or even like Dungeons & Dragons to read the books, but I have played Dungeons & Dragons, and I wanted to get back into it because it's been years, and I started watching Critical Role, so I ended up getting the Dungeons & Dragons starter set for 5th edition, which usually runs like $15. I actually did an unboxing of this, and this has everything that you need to start a campaign in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. If you've never played before and you're kind of curious, I would first of all recommend watching Critical Role first, which is a bunch of voice actors playing Dungeons & Dragons. It's hilarious. I'm on episode 14 or 15 at the moment. They're like 3 to 5 hour sessions, and they're just awesome to watch. I'm actually more entertained with that than I am with TV shows at the moment, just because I'm so into it and I'm loving every second of it. So this has everything you need, generally like $15. And then if you end up liking it, it actually gives you like a character sheet, so you don't have to create anybody. You can create your own if you want. And then it also gives you basically ideas or an actual campaign setting for level 1 to 5. So they have like 5 kind of sessions that you could play in this already, so you don't have to create your own, and the Dungeon Master can kind of get an idea of how to play the game. And then after that, I did end up getting, I had a Chapters gift card, and they had this on sale. The thing is with the books is that if you just go in and buy it, like go into a store and physically pick it up and buy it there, it's usually like much more expensive in Canada. These books are $58. In the US, it's like $50. But this was on sale on Chapters, the website, on Boxing Day for $35. So I used my gift card towards that, and half off. Usually Amazon is usually about half off if you want to end up getting this. This everybody needs, so the Dungeon Master and the players. This is all the players need, and if you want a Dungeon Master after you've completed the starter set, then you also need the Monster Manual and Dungeon Master's Guide, which I will be picking up later on down the road. And I cannot wait to start this. I'm actually probably starting it this weekend, and I cannot wait. I've looked at the starter set itself, and it seems really fun. So we're going to try that out with Team Bearded and my girlfriend. So that's pretty much it. That's what I got for Christmas and Boxing Day 2016. Let me know in the comments below what you ended up getting for Christmas if you're in Canada, or I don't know if Boxing Day is actually in Europe, but if it is, let me know in the comments below what you also got at that time. So thank you all for watching. You bearded it. Beardage.